What's up, everybody? Chris back from CTJ the Saiyan Elites, bringing you guys another video. And today, I know it's been a little bit since we put out some new deck profiles and stuff. I've been very busy with getting my wedding planned, which is happening next weekend, and set 10 coming out, and just a lot of other things going on with the channel that we've been kind of doing behind the scenes, kind of work on some stuff. So I apologize, but we do have quite a lot of videos that are going to be coming out in the next 2 weeks. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. This is a tournament video that I'm putting out that I played over the weekend with my Frieza deck. Slightly changed since the video because of set 10 obviously coming out and just doing some play testing and everything. And I found probably the perfect combination, in my opinion, for this leader as of right now. I think I ended up going 2-1. The match that I lost, a lot of it had to do with my just bad drawing going on. I should have won that matchup. I ended up losing 2-1 to Shinron. Both games actually that I lost, I actually should have won, but it's okay. We ended up losing. We played against an Android 21 leader, the starter deck leader. We ended up going 2-1. That matchup was really annoying, but I was able to close it out. And then the third matchup, I ended up playing against Toa. 2-0 Toa. That deck unfortunately just kind of gets demolished by the counterplays that I have the access to in this deck. But we'll go here into the video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of this deck profile, and if you guys would make any changes to the current form of Frieza. So if you guys don't know, with Frieza, you cannot play Saiyan cards in this deck, which kind of sucks because we have access to 3 of the most powerful Saiyan SCRs in the game, being the new Great Ape Bardock SCR, which is a Saiyan, so we can't play it. Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, which is a Saiyan, so we can't play it. And then Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, which we can't play because it's a Saiyan. So we can't use any of those. Can't use any of the new Saiyan cards, like the Black Sun Goku that comes out for free. Can't use any of that stuff, which sucks, but we will make do. So the whole point of this deck is you use your leader ability to pop Frieza army cards in your battle area, and on this side you get to take a life and they choose a card and drop, and on this side you get to choose a card in their hand, drop it, and then your unison gets crit for the turn. He is a at 4 life, restand 1, draw 1. And now we'll go here into the deck. Lots of 1-drops. Lots of 1-drops. So, not really lots of 1-drops. I'm a little over exaggerating. So we have 3 Dodoria. Move it over here. 3 Dodoria, the Cold-Blooded. This is your double strike Self-Awakener. You can tally this with your leader ability to take 2 life in 1 turn, draw 2 cards basically from your life, and you can deal 3 damage to them, making them drop a card. So we have this guy. 3 of the Zarbon Right-Hand Man. Card has a multitude of effects. For one, you can play it out, search top 5. So if you don't have your unison in hand, we want to play our unison on curve on turn 2. So if we don't have it, we can use this to search it out. It also searches out anything Frieza Army 4 or less. Doesn't have to be a specific, oh no, it does have to be green, but it does search out green-red if they ever make green-red, or green-yellow, green-blue, green-green, green-green, or green-yellow, something like that. The active battle is a pretty interesting effect. You get to pay 1, warp it, and then you give your leader or a unison 10k for the battle. So if you're going in with your unison, try to go for game, you can plus a 10k. If you're trying to play offensively with your leader, you can give it 10k, or defensively, if you don't have any combo power in your hand, you can warp this and gain 10k. 3 Infernal Emperor Frieza. This is probably my least favorite card in the deck. I would like to remove this card completely from the deck. However, I don't have access to the 1-drop Chilai, which is probably the best, in my opinion. I think that's the best 1-drop you can play in this deck, because it's a play 1, draw 1, but I don't have access to it, so this is kind of what I have to deal with. But it is nice because you play it out, you get to take a life. So if you need to get down to 4 life and you don't want to swing with your leader that turn, play this out, take a life, awaken, and then pop this. And then you can rip a card from your opponent's hand and give your unison crit. So the only unison I run in the main deck is the Xeno Frieza. Now, at the tournament, I did run a split. Not really a split, but I ran 2 of the Bardock Unisons. I don't think this card is really good in this deck. I think it's actually terrible in this deck. The main reason is because you have to play out a 1-drop, and then you pop it. With Frieza, you have the ability to drop a card, and then we have a card in the deck that comes out for free, and then we get to pop it. So it's some energy consumption stuff that I feel like the Frieza Zeno has just way more usefulness with. And I only played this card out once. I think it was in the Toa matchup. I played it out and I used it for its auto, because Black has obviously the ability to use Bibbidi super combo. I comboed up and they dropped the Bibbidi and I just popped it from their hand. I ended up winning the game. But other than that, I think it's really, really bad in this deck, and I will not play it. Can't tell me otherwise. I think this is the best one if you are going to play Frieza as of right now. Obviously, there's going to be a card coming out, Metacooler. I probably would play Metacooler, but it would completely switch up how I would play this version of the deck. This one's just really nice, being able to drop a card +1 or use its effect to pop something 4 or less or take off a marker. So with the Zeno Frieza, we have the Dodoria / Frieza healing pod combination. So with Dodoria, when it's put in the drop area by a skill, it comes out for free. This is a skill. So you can +1, drop this card, draw 1, and then this card comes out for free, so you're just plussing it. You're just plussing it again. And then if you have pod on board, you could draw an extra card because the card's being played from the drop area. So this card here is a +1, play out a card for free, draw 2. Technically how this effect works. And then Dodoria, you can pay 1 green, bring it back to your hand. So if you don't see a Dodoria, you only have 1, you can just keep paying 1, recycling it, and if you have this on board, just keep drawing 2, making your opponent drop a card, give your unison crit, and it allows you to play somewhat of a long game, because your opponent's just going to be consistently dropping cards. You just swing with your unison, give them crit. If they have a unison on board, use your leader to swing into it, draw a card. That way you're not giving them extra cards, and you just pass. You keep your energy open for negates and combo power, and then you just try to get to a certain point where they have very little resources, and then you just go in and go in for the kill. You also can tap 4, pop this, and play out a 4 or less from your drop with its skills active, which comes into effect later on in the deck. So one of our counterplays is going to be Dodoria brimming with power. This card probably got me 3rd place. I still kind of confused by the placings, but since I only lost once. But this card actually won me both of my matchups, and I know people are sleeping on some of these negates, and I'm a little confused by it. So this one says here, if you have a blue, if you're not a blue, if your leader's a mono green and you have a green unison in play, if the battle card being played is a 2 or less, it's placed in its drop instead, and you play this card out. So it's a 1-drop removal. So it pops Cocoonsas, it pops Topos, it pops the new Mira 2-drop, it pops the negative Dragon Balls, the Shinshinran cards, because those cards don't come into play and their permanent is not activated, so you can pop those too. It's a great way to just stop your opponent's turn 2 play, or if they're trying to just build a board with some small stuff to go tall, you just pop them. And then we run 4 of the Frieza Charismatic Villain. Now the issue with this card is, So the issue with the Frieza card is that when you play it, you can't use any other counterplays for the rest of the turn, because it's a free one. Which is, if you have a unison with 2 or more markers, this is a free counterplay. With this, I generally try to play this one out first, especially if I have 1 energy. And this is a way to bait my opponent out. So if they play something small, I'll pop it with this, then they play something else, and then I use this to pop it. And then they're just like, okay, I'll just pass, I guess. When this card comes out, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards, 7 or less, and KO it. So it KOs almost everything in the game. It doesn't KO secret rares because secret rares already are in play, and then they like Smoke Dragon, the 8-drop Frieza, those will all go back up to their normal energy cost once they are in play. So this has to choose a card in play, so it doesn't work for that. But it KOs almost everything else in the entire game, and can. I've turned off so many plays because of this card. Also, you can play this on your turn. So if your opponent plays a Topo, if your opponent plays a Kakunsa or something, you can play this and pop it. Now, why would you want to pop this card on your opponent's turn? Well, the main reason is because we run the Fuse Zamasu interaction. So with this, if you have more than 3 energy, you can choose green battle cards in your battle area with 5k power or more, and a total of 5 energy, and place them in the drop area. Then you play this card from your hand. And would you look at that? Frieza has a 5-drop, and he's over 5k, so this card basically comes out for 1 energy with 1 battle card, and it's nuts. I would like to buy more of this card, but it got bought out, and it's like $100. I'm not paying that for this card because I only paid $10 for it, so I'm not doing that. But the interaction with this is just nuts. So when this card hits the field, it has Indestructible, and apparently people still don't know what Indestructible means. But because some people are newer to the game, but Indestructible means that this card cannot be KO'd or removed from the field by any of your opponent's skills, but any of your opponent's skills. So it can't be removed by anything. So Zeno can't remove it. Hit can remove it because it's not being played yet, but it can't be chosen and KO'd or warped or any of that kind of stuff. The only thing that can remove this is if you negate its skills, or you reduce its power to 0 because then it's being removed by a game mechanic. Those are the only things in the game that can remove it. So if you play against Cooler, this card's probably not that great because it is going to have its effect go off, but it's not going to be able to last more than 1 turn generally. So I'm probably going to end up charging this in that matchup. But when this card attacks, your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand and places it in the drop. So just when this card attacks, so you can swing out a Unison. They don't negate. They drop a card. Value. I would probably run a playset of these, but like I said, it's like between $70 and $100. I'm not spending that much on a card that's not a secret rare. So super combos. Right now I run the Zarbon, and currently I'm a little on the field. I'm a little on the edge about it. Not the field. The fence. That's what it's called. So I'm on the fence about this card. I like it because I'm going to be at 4 life for most of the game, so it's going to be active with the draw 1. I do like the idea of using the Android 18 super combo to make him bottom deck a card, but I don't play a rival card since I can't play Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. That's kind of what I'm fighting with right now. But this card is awesome. It is searchable as well by the 1-drop Zarbon because it is a Frieza army. You can play it and pop it if you want to. You can play this card out with your Frieza pod for 4. Just to get an extra card to draw. Because when it just says when this card is combo, it doesn't say when it's comboed from your hand or whatever, any of that kind of stuff. So it's there. It is what it is. I'm trying to think of another super combo that I could possibly run with it. 3 of the 2-drop Friezas. Awesome card. I only run 3 because I only have 3 shiny. But in all honesty, I think 3 is enough. You want to see it once, and then you'll end up playing it and doing its effect. So, when this card's removed from the field by your opponent's skill, you get the draw 2. So it's safe to say this is a good turn 3 curve play. You can play it out for 2, swing, and then if they pop it or if they want to get rid of it, you draw 2. So you're kind of forcing them to remove it. It is a really, really good turn 3 play if you have it. Because now if it's not removed, you get to swing with it again next turn, and then you can activate its main, which you pay 1 green, you put this card in the drop. I'm sorry, no you don't. You pay 1 green, you choose 1 green Frieza with an energy cost of 4 in your hand or your drop, and play it on top of this card in active mode. So the one that we run in the main deck is Cosmic Horror. Now, before we get into this card, when you play this card out from the drop, you will trigger Frieza Healing Pod. So you'll just draw a card. So you're plussing off of that 1 energy. So now you get this 20k card that's restood, that has dual attack, and you get to choose one function. You get to choose either choosing one of your opponent's battle cards, any energy cost, KO it, as long as it doesn't have barrier, or you get to choose one of your opponent's unisons and remove a marker from it. So you can basically beat down a unison with this. It has 3 markers. Pop 1 marker, take it on the 2, and then just swing twice and then remove it. It also is good for pressure on the leader, but generally I'm going to use this to remove board. It's just a great board removal. I've popped smoke dragons and then gone in and just swung at unisons and popped them. And it's a 5k combo, so it's not a heavy card in your hand. And this is a great card to just combo out of your hand because you want to play this card generally from the drop. You don't want to lose a card from your hand with using this. So being able to play this card out for 1 from your drop, possibly draw 1 off of Healing Pod if you have it in play, and then pop a card and then swing twice. It's just an amazing card. I wish the full art looked better. I don't like how Frieza's body looks. It's very, very tiny. I know he's like 3 feet tall or 4 feet tall, but just kind of a weird art. I only run 3 Shocking Death Ball in the main board. This deck doesn't run a ton of negates, but the ones that I do have, I want to be able to possibly take life for. 2 Cocoonsas. 4 felt way too heavy, and I didn't want to. I don't know. I didn't want to run 4, although I have 4 of them. I didn't even run 2 in the side deck. It just felt bad running more than this card. I think 3. I would bump up the 3 in the future just so I can see it. But we'll play around with it right now. This is only I think it's a 53 card deck, so I could just add a 3rd Cocoonsa. So we'll kind of see going forward. Again, not running a full playset of the Cells Are Destroying Kamehameha. Gain 15 power, and then choose one of your cards in your opponent's hand and put it in the drop area. It's just some more hand destruction. We run a 1 of the Zerloin Maiden Supporter. You guys know me and my Maidens. I'm a big fan. So this card here, choose one of your green battle cards in your hand, 4 or less, and play it. And so the 3 targets in the deck, obviously we have Cocoonsa. When this card's played, you can KO something. It's not that good though. You kind of want to use that for its counter attack. So we have this, which does the same thing. You choose a card and KO it, and then this one has dual attack. Or the big boy draft card, Piccolo, Assimilated Ability. So you choose this to play it out. Has barrier, and because we played it out, we're gonna guarantee to have Bond 2 if they didn't counterplay it, because we have a Zerlin on board. Gets Bond 2, activate battle once per turn, choose one of your opponent's battle cards 5 or less, KO it, and then if you KO a card, you draw a card. I did not run this in the tournament. I did not run this combination in the tournament. I switched this out for the video because I wanted to show the proper way of running this. I ran the Bardocs. So I ran 3 Bardocs. And I took them out to put this combination in just to kind of show you guys what I'm going to be running in the future. Because this card actually could have saved me in the Shin Shinran matchup. When Shin, our teammate Jared, he ran Shin Shinran. Used the tap 6 effect to play out all the cards. I ended up counterplaying a few of them, but if I would have had this on board, I could have popped the 4-drop Haze, saved me some damage, and possibly drawn a card to help me combo out of the next attack. But this card here is awesome. So obviously we already said the first effect. You play out a 4 or less. Auto KO this card. When one of your opponent's cards attacks, your opponent can't attack with battle cards for the duration of the turn. So they swing with their unison first. This card almost works as a weird topo. They just can't attack with battle cards. So Vegex, Shin Shinran, decks who like to swarm the board late in the game. Bulma, they can't attack with any battle cards. And then when this card is removed from your battle area by opponent's skill or KO'd, you can choose a 4 or less from your drop area, play with the skills and get it for the turn. And that's what this target is. So typically you're going to be able to get both of these guys out on the field. And then as long as they don't have something that removes barrier, this card's going to sit there on the field. And now you have Bond 2 on 2 of these, and you can just activate battle, pop, activate battle, pop, draw 2. and now you're in for a really, really fun time. I may add a third one, because I do have a third one, but we'll see. I think 4 is a little too heavy. Our heavy card, we have Rubrian, 5-drop. Comes in, choose all your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, KOs, basically KOs the entire board, and then she is a 30k triple strike. Ended up winning the matchup against Android 21 by just making him remove his entire hand, and he had 3 life left. I just threw this down, KO'd his board, and then just swung, and since he has no cards in hand, it's basically game over. When this card's in rest mode, your opponent can only attack this card, can't attack unisons, can't attack battle cards, can't attack leaders, has to choose Rebrand and attack her. When this card is removed, same effect as Zerloin, you get to choose a 4 or less from your drop, play with the skills negated. And another interesting fact is because those are cards being played from the drop area, you get to draw from healing pots, so just more value off of that. Obviously that's only a once per turn, so if you haven't drawn off of it, you get to draw on your opponent's turn as well. So great card. Secret rare, Smoke. Since I can't run any of the Saiyan ones, which is just it's annoying. But Smoke's a great card. Your drop's gonna get filled later in the game, maybe not by turn 5, but possibly by turn 5. You have 3 awesome effects to choose from. You can either warp your entire opponent's board, you can make them mill 7 cards and then draw 2, or you can rip 4 cards from their hand. Probably gonna do the 4 cards from hand. Just an awesome secret rare. Now the sideboard I'm gonna show you guys here. This would probably change depending on the tournament, but for this tournament I knew kind of had an idea of what I was gonna be playing against. So we have Kami. I knew a few of the people who were playing were either gonna play Invoker or some sort of card deck that used Senzu Bean. So this would basically, if they use a Senzu Bean on their turn to restand an energy, they have to pop an energy. Never really came into play though. I tried to use it once against the Android 21 leader, and that was really it. Didn't really play it too much else. Another Invoker card, Piccolo Jr. Arena Wrecker. Great card. As soon as they play that field spell, you play it next turn, pop the field spell, gain 5k, and then just swing in. Becomes a 1-drop if your opponent has a field card on the field, and you just use this to make them pop field spells. And if they only run 2 or 3 of the tournament cards, now you're forcing them to have to charge multicolor energy. A lot of people, especially if they see this turn 1, if they see their tournament turn 1, they're gonna charge maybe a blue, or they're gonna charge a tournament, or charge something and then play Whis to search it out, or they'll just play it out and then you just pop it. And now if they use Whis as an energy, now they don't have a card to help search that out, so now then you have to find another one. So it puts Invoker on its back early, and I think this deck works really, really well against Invoker. I want to test it out a little bit more, but I think we have a pretty good matchup here against it. 1 blue impulse. I sided this in. Never. Actually, I wish I could have sided in. So the effect of this card is a permanent. If your leader's a green unison and you have if your leader's green, you have a green unison play, reduce the cost of this card in your hand by 1, so it becomes a 1-drop. Activate if your opponent has played a battle card on this turn. Choose all of your opponent's battle cards and KO them. So this is only on your turn. So basically, if they play an arrival or a counterplay card on your turn, you can use this. I really wanted to use it in the cooler matchup, because cooler players like to use combo attack coolers and throw down the 5-drop arrivals and do all this crazy stuff on my turn, and they just fill the board up. I'm like, great, that's awesome. I want you to, and then I'll just play 1 energy and I'll pop your entire board of coolers, all of them. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter just cards that were played on that turn. It's just all of your opponent's battle cards and KO them. But since no one played cooler, it just kind of sat in the sideboard. Then we have this package is what I would side in for a certain matchup. Here is going to be the Frieza Zeno package. I run a total of 8 of these cards, so we have 4 of the 1-star balls. It is an activate battle. It's a 5k, so you choose one of your cards, give it 5k. So you have to do that. You can't just throw it down because it has no combo power. So you just have to activate battle, choose 1 card, give it 5k, or an activate main, choose 1 Frieza card, energy cost of 4 in your battle area. Place it under this. Choose 1 green Frieza Zeno in your deck or hand. Place it on top of that card in active mode, and then shuffle your deck. So it gives us, if you're keeping track of the Frieza chain, so the 15k has 1 swing. You go into the 4-drop dual attack, that's 2 more swings, and then you get to play one of these on top of it to give another swing. So we have the Power Monger first. Deflect unique, comes out, can't be hit by counterplays. Counterplays that have just counterplay text. When this card is removed, if your opponent has 3 more energy, when it's removed by the battle area by a skill or KO'd, choose one of your green extra cards in your drop with the energy cost of 1 and add it to your hand. So we get to add back Cells or Destroying Kamehameha or Shocking Death Ball. And then has an activate battle for 3 energy. This card gains 15k and double strike for the turn. Sorry, for the battle. So it becomes a 30k double strike crit. Right? No, just double strike. The other one has crit, sorry. No, the other one has double strike, sorry. So this becomes a 30k double strike. It's good for going for game. And then if it gets removed, you just get to add a card from your hand. You can also pop it with your leader ability, which is nice. So you go up the chain, you swing with this, then you pop it, you get to add an extra card back, and then they have to drop a card. And then we have the Frieza Dark Infestation. This is probably my favorite one. I know it doesn't have deflect, but still a really good card. So it's a 4-drop, 15k double strike. Same effect as the other one. If it dies or gets removed, you get to add a green extra card back from your drop. But the activate of this card is when this card is placed in the, you can activate it, place this card in its owner's drop, choose up to one of your opponent's cards in their hand and discard it. So I basically get to use the leader effect without having to pop it. Now obviously I don't give my unison crit, but I can swing it with this, give it double strike, pop it, make them drop a card, play out another one, use leader effect, make them drop a card. Just lots of hand destruction. Then the last 2 cards is the Demigra. Never saw play because it's mainly for the Invoker matchup. But this card does have some unique perks to it. So +1, card gains 15k, so it's good at swinging at Self-Awakening cards that are in rest mode or just the Unison in general. Activate main, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, KO it. Then choose up to 1, so you don't have to KO one. And then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, energy cost of 3 or less, ignoring barrier, and KO it. So this card was kind of printed to remove small barrier cards. That's kind of the idea. So Invoker again, play this card out. It cannot be counterplayed because it's a Unison, so they can't use any of their crazy stuff. They can't even use Emperor's Death Beam because it does not target the card because it's not a battle card or a leader. So you swing. You can swing at something if you want. You don't really have to, but you pay it out for 3. You remove 3 markers and then just pop that card. So it's a 3-drop removal that can pop 2 things. Pretty interesting card. This is my Frieza deck. Like I said, I made the slight change to what I played yesterday in the tournament, but this will be the deck going forward. And if I have some other changes, maybe I'll make another video with it. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. And I'll see you guys in the next video.